Hey guys, welcome back in the Playroom with me, Steve Henning. I've got an awesome guest tonight. I've wanted this ever since I thought of this show up. She's one of the major inspirations in me even standing here in front of this camera. I'm going to call her the Hellcat in headphones. She is the angel of the audio waves. She is my friend, Kat Mykals.
Hi. Wow.
How you doing tonight?
A little embarrassed.
Oh,
wow. Wow. No, that was awesome. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Thank you for being here.
Sure. Thank you for dinner. It was great.
Don't tell that to everybody. Everybody will expect dinner.
The Playroom, aptly named. Games everywhere.
Yeah, I'm sure I've got a few guys out there that'll be jealous that I have Kat Mykals in my Playroom. But again, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Before we get into the personal stuff, I always give you a chance to just kind of talk about something you'd like to promote and get out there, and I like to help you try and get that out there.
Sure. There is a charity event coming up February 28th. It's called Hearts for Hounds. I am actually on the board for an organization called Animalpalooza, Animal Benefit and Music Festival, and we're helping to present Hearts for Hounds, which is a benefit for PC Pound Puppies in Mount Vernon in Posey County. And it is a semi-formal sit-down dinner. There'll be music, an actual dinner served. It's $40 per person for a ticket. It's February 28th, and you can get tickets online at pcpoundpuppies.com. And I will be emceeing the event. Forgot about that, which means I'll be in a dress, and that hardly ever happens. So,
and how much were tickets again?
$40 a person.
Okay. And the date one more time.
February 28th.
Okay. Did you want to promote anything else?
You can listen weekday mornings to the Rob's Radio Show with Kat Mykals at 1061evansville.com. Listen live at... Wait, what did I just do? Yeah, I just gave you the website. That's embarrassing.
They can listen through the website.
You can listen through the website, yes. You can listen on your dial at 106.1 KISS FM. You can listen online at 1061evansville.com, and you can listen with your smartphone through the Radio Pup app, which you can get for free in the iTunes Store and Google Play, so you can take us with you everywhere you go.
And if you're one of my friends and you're awake between 6 and 10, you better be listening to 106, or I will beat the brakes off of you.
That's a heck of a threat.
I like to get everybody out there and feel like they're loved. Okay, so now we're going to get into the meat of it.
The meat of it. I am first of all, I'm just kind of. You got Foo Fighters going on, which is awesome. You've got Train going on, just Drops of Jupiter, and I love Drops of Jupiter, and I love Meet Virginia, and I love Train. And you have this. You have 9 Inch Nails' Pretty Hate Machine.
Yeah.
And maybe off camera I will tell you the significance of that album to me. But yeah.
That's a pretty significant album to me too.
Is it?
But I kind of know your musical taste through conversations, and so...
I love that album. I love that album. I could listen to it beginning to end over and over and over. It's one of the few albums that I can honestly say that about. But there's a story about that one that we'll save for later.
Oh, great. I can't wait for that one. Well, we'll start off with our first question.
Okay.
I really don't know this story, and I'm sure a lot of people listening or watching don't know this. How did you get into radio, and when did you decide that was for you?
Well, that's kind of a funny story. I did things kind of backwards. Usually you get out of high school, you go to college, you pick a major, you do your thing, and then you eventually get married, and you eventually have children, and you eventually... whatever. Not so much. I got married at 19. I got pregnant with my daughter when I think I was still 19. It was right before I turned 20. I had her about 5 months before I turned 21. And I didn't go to college after high school. I got married instead, and then I got pregnant. And so here I am, and I'm a mom, and fast forward a little bit, and she's going to start kindergarten. And I kind of felt like it was really difficult for me to impress upon her the importance of going to college if I had never gone to college.
Yeah.
And I felt like if I didn't do it now, meaning when she started school and I wasn't bound quite like I was with her home all the time. That if I didn't do it then, that I felt like I wouldn't do it. I was working in retail at the time. I had started as a cashier, and I had moved to the lawn and garden area, and eventually I made my way over to the shoe department. I was an hourly supervisor over a specialty division, so I took care of my own payroll and my own scheduling and my own hiring and firing and my profit and loss and all that stuff. And one of the things that you do when you work in the shoe department and in a retail store is you make these PA announcements. Mm-hmm. So I was working at Walmart, and so you have the attention Walmart shoppers. We'd like to invite you back to your friendly neighborhood shoe department, where today we have blah blah blah, insert super special sale price whatever here. And then you wrap it up, as always, we'd like to thank you for shopping your friendly neighborhood Walmart, and you hang up the phone. And little old ladies would stop and watch me. You know, because it's not some kind of special device that you use to get over the PA. It's the phones that you see all through the store. You pick them up, you press pound in a certain number combination or whatever, and it turns the PA on. And so I would have these little ladies, and they'd be pushing their shopping carts, and they would stop and they would watch me, and I would hang up the phone, and they're like, "Oh, honey, you have such a good voice. You should be on the radio." And I'm like, "Oh, no, I can't do that." And it happened enough times that I started to go, maybe I could do that. And then when my daughter started kindergarten, and I was like, okay, I actually was torn between two things. I was either going to go to school and get a degree in broadcasting, radio, TV broadcasting, or I was going to take like mechanic shop type stuff so I could learn how to do body work and paint, because I wanted to be that like BA chick in the middle of the Midwest that could paint like nobody's business, and everybody wanted to bring their hot rods to her.
Oh wow.
So I opted for radio, obviously. Yes. And yeah, I enrolled in the radio television broadcasting program at Wabash Valley College in Mount Carmel, Southern Illinois. I was a year in when a guy that I'd gone to high school with, we were in band in middle school together, sent me a message, and I think at the time, it was through MySpace. And he's like, my program director is looking for somebody part-time. I told him you were going to school, you need to send in your tape. And so I put together some stuff and I sent it over, and he brought me in and sat down and we talked, and I ended up, I hired in as a paid radio employee on 6606.
Oh wow.
On a classic rock station.
Nice.
So if there's nothing more rock and roll than having your first official paid gig in your chosen career and hiring in on 6606, I know nothing that is more rock and roll than that.
Yes.
So yeah, and I was there for almost 5 years, and then I ended up where I am now, and never, Rob and I have been doing mornings now. We had our 3-year anniversary. We're now in the start of our 4th year doing the morning show. In March, it will be 4 years that I've been with Town Square Media and KISS FM and GBF. I do a Saturday show on GBF as well. And but if 5 years ago you had told me, one, that I'd be doing Top 40, I would have laughed you out of your chair. If you'd have told me I was going to be doing mornings, I'd have told you there was no way. And there was absolutely no way I was going to do Top 40 mornings on Top 40. That just wasn't going to happen. Yeah. You can't really see it. I'm tattooed. I'm not the typical pop culture enthusiast. I follow things now because of the job, and I learn about things now. But before it was fast cars and fast motorcycles and tattoos, and these are the things that I like, and I fit really well with that rock lean. Mm-hmm. 9 Inch Nails, the GBF side of things, that's really more, I will always be the rock chick. Yeah. That's kind of who I am, and I'm way off subject from what you asked me on how I got started. I already explained how I got started. Now I'm just talking to hear my own voice.
That's no problem. That's what we want. We want you to talk. But I'll go ahead and move on to the next question.
Okay.
Who or what's your inspiration?
As far as life, career...
What?
Life?
Yeah,
life is my daughter. She's amazing. And I can honestly tell you, as sure as I sit here, that without my daughter, I have no idea where I would be in my life. You know, there have been some things that I've been through, and you know, if it hadn't been for the responsibility of being her mom, I don't know where I would be. You know, she's 15. She will be 16 in July. She is the most amazing young woman that I've ever met. She is funny. She is witty. She's intelligent. She's sarcastic. She is just so. She's amazing.
So she's a little Kat Mykals.
No. She's her. She's Elizabeth. And she is, in my eyes, she is far better than I was at that age, and far, she's amazing. I have never met a kid that is as thoughtful, caring, and compassionate towards other people as my daughter is. And that's not me tooting my own horn as a parent. I mean, I'm dumbfounded by it. You know, she's 15. She should be selfish, and she should be bratty, and she should be all these things, and she's not. She's just good.
That's amazing.
I am so proud of her, and she's so inspiring to me. You know, she's a lot stronger than she gives herself credit for. Mm-hmm. You know, and yeah, I've always tried to see the world through her eyes, because, you know, when kids are little, everything is viewed with wonder, and when we become adults, we lose that along the way somewhere, and everything becomes mundane to us. And when you're young and you're little, the mundane is still exciting, and the mundane is still magical. And I have always tried to see and to continue to see the world through her eyes, and she's really helped me to do that. So, you know, like, I joke that I'm a big kid. You know, I get excited over the silliest of things. I get excited over dessert. I'm like, sweets. and I think a lot of that is because she's helped me. You know, she keeps me young in that way.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Awesome. Who do you see as your competition?
Well, that's a tricky thing these days. You know, 10 years ago, that would have been easy. It would have been, the radio station across the street that's vying for the exact same audience demographic. Now, that's a completely different thing. You've got streaming audio. You've got mobile apps. You've got streaming service. You've got satellite radio in cars. You've got you have those streaming apps now in the cars.
Yeah.
You know, all of those things are competition for what we do in the realm of terrestrial radio, and terrestrial radio isn't just terrestrial radio anymore, because now we have thrown our hat in the ring, and we have listening online, and we have our own apps that you can listen, mobile devices and that kind of thing. But yeah, 10 years ago I would have said, oh no, it's the station across the street, but they're still there, but it's not just the station across the street anymore. It's a much bigger scope now. Kind of pretty much anything that involves music at this point that's not a local band playing somewhere is kind of competition.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
I got a couple of questions about fans.
Okay.
First, I'll start off on a positive note. What's the best thing that's happened to you since you've gotten a radio, or what's like one thing that you remember?
Harry. Harry is a listener from when I was doing classic rock. Mm-hmm. He is much like you, gone from being a listener to being a friend. Mm-hmm. I don't remember exactly how long I had been there I might have been there 2 years when I got the first package. But it was classic rock. And every time I would get to play the Beatles while my guitar gently weeps, I would mention on air that this is my favorite Beatles song. And Harry is a huge Beatles fan. And one day around my birthday or Christmas, I don't remember exactly which, I walked by the front desk and they're like, "You have a package." What do you mean I have a package? Who sent me a package? And I open it up and there's a 2-disc CD set of the Beatles' White Album.
Oh.
And it wasn't signed. The note wasn't signed. There was a note that wishing me a Merry Christmas or a Happy Birthday, whatever the case may have been. And that, you know, they hoped that I enjoyed it. They knew that this was my favorite song. Whatever. And I kind of had a sneaking suspicion that it was Harry. And then a little while later, the next year rolled around and my birthday, I got a birthday card. And I got a Christmas card. And I get a Christmas card every year. Even when I changed companies and changed stations, there's still a card sent to where I work every year. I got my Christmas card from Harry this year. And that was, you know, even though the format that I'm doing now is not the format that he would listen to. He's not a P1 for KISS. And a P1 is basically the listener who eats, sleeps, and breathes your radio station.
Yeah.
You would be considered a P1 for KISS.
Really?
Yes.
I wouldn't think so, because truth be told, I listen for you guys, and the music just kind of
Really?
gets in the way. Yeah.
Okay, well then maybe you're not.
I mean, there's some of the music I do enjoy, but like you, I'm very much a rock guy.
Right.
But I'm also very much a country guy. And
Sure. And I'm that way too. Like, I pretty much love all music, across the board. There's a few things that it may be a song or an artist here and there that I don't care for, but genre-wise, there isn't anything that I don't enjoy. But I got my Christmas card. You know, Harry sent my Christmas card this year, and I got one last year, and it goes up at my desk. You know, we're in a time now when wishing someone a Merry Christmas or wishing somebody a Happy Birthday is a text message or a post on a Facebook page, and for somebody to sit down and actually take the time to address, stamp, and mail a card with a handwritten sentiment inside of it as well, you know, to me speaks volumes, and it's a very thoughtful thing, and it's something that I really, you know, is really very, I don't know, it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
You know, I somehow, in doing what I do for a living, have connected with someone on not just a music level, but on a human level, to where they think enough of me to wish me a Merry Christmas and take the time to do that.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty special thing, I think.
Yeah. I think you guys do your job well because you have those people that want to know you on a human. I mean, that's why you're here now, because I was a listener and I wanted to be your guys' friends.
Yeah.
And you were kind enough to come to my house, which is a major deal for me. Okay, let's flip the coin a little bit. What's the worst thing that's happened to you? Or if you don't want to really go into that, what's something that just like eats at you that fans do?
Probably the worst thing was also when I was doing classic rock. The classic rock audience is, you know, predominantly male, predominantly mid-30s to mid-50s, and much like where I am now, to get access into the building, there's a key fob system. You walk up, you swipe the key fob, it beeps, the door unlocks, you can go in. So I was doing weekends. So I'm in there on a Sunday. It's like 5 o'clock, Sunday night. There's not a soul in the building except for like one other person, and they're on entirely the other side of the building because the building was like a big loop like this. So I'm on this side, and they are way over here. Also in a closed-in, glass-walled studio, they couldn't hear anything. There was a guy who would call in and talk to my program director, Jason Mack, and he would ask about me. Kat sounds so hot, dude. Is she hot? Is she, you know, all the mid-30 to mid-50 kind of skeezy guy questions that you would ask about this chick that you hear on the radio, and all you hear is her voice and you don't know what she looks like. And I'd heard about this guy for a while from different people on the station, And I am doing my thing, and I look up, and he's standing outside my studio door. He is inside the building and standing outside my glass studio door.
Wow.
Because one of the doors hadn't shut all the way, it hadn't latched, or something was going on. And I'm like, I can get this guy out of the building.
Yeah.
All I could think was I need to get him out of the building. I need to keep myself in the building and get him out of the building. And I think he was harmless. I really do think he was harmless. I don't think he had any ill intent or anything like that, but it scared the bejeebies out of me, because here's this guy. He's reeks of booze. He reeks of pot. Reeks of cigarette smoke. Very disheveled. He's kind of sloppy with his body language, like he's leaning on the wall a little. I mean, he's not sound mind and body. You know, he's certainly not sober mind and body. And I was like, I was just getting ready to go smoke a cigarette, which I don't smoke anymore, but at the time I was like, you want to go? Let's go have a cigarette, man. Let's get. And so I get him out the door. I stand there, I light a cigarette, take 2 drags and throw the sucker out, and I'm like, I get back in the studio, the song's gonna end, and I shut the door, and I go back in and I sit down and I send an email. And I'm typing this email, and it's like, we have these things on the doors, and the doors are supposed to be locked, and here I am, and I'm 26 years old, 27 years old, and I'm all alone except for one person on the other side of the building who's also locked up in a glass cage who couldn't hear me if I screamed. And why was this person in the building?
Oh, my goodness.
Why was I just faced with dealing with this? And it scared me something fierce, and it was very unnerving. So yeah, that's hands down my worst experience. Except maybe the crazy guy that thought that Jesus wore a red bandana and silver cowboy boots. But I'm pretty sure that guy was actually I think he was schizophrenic. He came to a broadcast that I was at, and he was talking about how he had conversations with God. Like, he talked to God. He would go out and he would drive and he would listen to Black Sabbath and he would have conversations with God. And that God had a sense of humor and wore a red bandana and silver cowboy boots. And he was not deadpanning and joking. He was serious. He genuinely believed what he was telling me. That was a little unnerving as well.
Imagine. You're in the public face 5-6 days a week. Do you still do the Sunday afternoons, or do you have that off now?
I'm off on Sunday afternoons, but I am in the public eye every time I leave my house. Every time I walk out my 4 walls, I am in the public eye. Right. Everything that I do, everything that I say is a reflection of me, which is then a reflection of the station and ultimately the parent company. Right. If I'm in the grocery store, I don't get to be a D-bag because somebody ran over my foot with their shopping cart. Yeah. Because while they may not be a listener, the person 10 feet away might be. And if they know who I am, and they tell their friend, and their friend tells 3 of their friends, and their 3 friends tell 3 of their friends, it doesn't look very good on a radio station if I act like an a-hole. Yeah. So I am very, very aware of what I do and how I treat people. Not that I would treat anybody that way anyway, but you become hyper aware of it. Yeah. So, yeah, but I am always a direct reflection of the radio station.
Now, being that because you are always out there, you don't get to have a bad day. So what does Kat Mykals do when a normal person would have a bad day? And I mean, you just got to go. You have to be Kat Mykals for everybody listening.
In the mornings doing the show, it's easy. Because the room that I sit in with Rob and Chandel every morning is essentially my safe place. It doesn't matter what's going on in my personal life, in my relationships. It doesn't matter if the bills are late or I'm getting phone calls because I forgot to pay a bill. None of that matters when I walk in that room and that door closes. The only thing that exists is me, Rob, Chandel, and the microphones. And our show prep and gathering news and that kind of thing. The outside world, the everyday life stuff, falls away in the few hours that I'm in that room. Every once in a while, they will rear their head. My daughter might send me a text message that she forgot her lunch money, or she might, there are things.
Yeah.
But as a general rule, the day-to-day stresses, if I am stressed out of my mind when I'm in that room, none of it matters. The only thing that matters is having a good show, laughing, and that's the great thing is that no matter how bad the outside part of my life is, when I come in that room, I always know I'm going to have fun. I always know that I'm going to laugh. And I always know that when I leave, I'm going to know that I did the best that I could that day and that I gave everything that I had to give.
Now, me and you have talked. We've gotten kind of personal messaging back and forth on Facebook, and I appreciate that. You've actually reached out to me sometimes when
You're
I've
having
been
a
down.
bad day, sure.
And I know you've been through bad times, and I don't want to get into detail. I'm not trying to tear you down. I want to build you up. What advice, or what would you tell somebody that is going through a similar time? Because you're, from the outside looking in, you're on the other side of it now.
Sure. And the funny thing is, and I had this conversation with somebody today, I look like I have my stuff put together. From the outside looking in, I look like I am well-rounded and have life figured out and have it by the horns, and everything in its a place for everything and everything in its place. That is so not my life. My life is chaos, but in the midst of all that chaos, I have managed to find some sense of order. I have managed to find a sense of myself, and I have learned something very, very valuable in the last 6 or 7 months, and that is that I am fully capable of standing on my own 2 feet and taking care of myself, with support and encouragement from friends, with people who care about me, to help me, that want to see me get out of the situation that I was in. But it is, without explaining all of the backstory to it, if I had to give somebody a nugget of wisdom, it would be that you are braver than you think you are. You are stronger than you think you are.
Those are awesome words. You're almost out of the hot seat now.
Okay, good, because I get tears in my eyes.
Well, I'm going to try and take the chairs out. We're gonna see how well-rounded you are. I want to play a game. We're going to finish the show off with the game. First, I'm going to give you a hug real fast.
Thanks, Steve. I'm good. I'm okay.
I'm glad that. I think you're very good. And we're going to find out.
Okay.
This is a game. It's called Bitch Please or Switch Please.
Oh, no. How does this work?
I have a list of 13 female celebrities.
Okay.
I will read them one at a time, and you will simply tell me, switch please, as if they would make you change teams.
Oh, okay.
Or if not, you can just simply say, bitch please. If you would like to elaborate on one or more than one, feel free. If not, we'll simply go on to the next one.
Okay.
We got 13 here.
I'm comfortable enough with myself to do this.
I thought you would be, so that's why I drove this one up.
Did you say you have 13?
13.
That is my lucky number. Let's do this.
That's why I stopped at 13. Christina Aguilera.
Bitch, please.
Britney Spears.
Oh, bitch, please.
Do you want to elaborate on that one?
Britney's crazy, and I never thought she was as hot as everybody thought she was. Christina was hot.
Yeah, she's my girl.
Christina was hot. She's a little too diva-ish for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If I were going to switch teams, Christina Aguilera is too much of a diva.
Okay.
So, and Britney was never as hot as Christina. So there's that.
Emma Watson. I like that
Switch, please.
I like
She's
that
cute. She's adorable. She's quirky. Sure.
Angelina Jolie.
Bitch, please.
Martha Stewart.
Oh, bitch, please.
Rihanna.
Switch, please. She's hot. I'm not even gonna lie. She's hot. She's a sexy woman.
There you go. Ellen.
Bitch, please. No. She's great. She's hilarious and she's funny. I don't find her attractive, though. And if I were gonna switch teams, it'd have to be hot.
I think she'd had a lot of practice downstairs.
Oh, well. Maybe. I wasn't really thinking in terms of that.
Okay.
But,
Moving along. Joan Jett in the 1980s.
Oh, switch, please. Joan Jett's the shit. Yeah. Pardon my language. Joan Jett's, like, in the 80s, she was so, like, edgy, dirty, rock and roll, all of the things that I have always liked in guys that have never served me well for liking those things in guys, but they're the things I like that I like edgy. And she was edgy, and she was awesome. Yeah.
All right. Christina Applegate.
Are we talking like Christina Applegate now, or Christina Applegate like Married with Children?
Any Christina Applegate that would get you to switch, because that's what's sexy.
I'm gonna go with bitch, please.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Drew Barrymore.
Bitch, please. She's cute and quirky, but I don't know.
Okay. This next one I'm really interested to hear your answer. Courtney Love in the 1990s.
Oh, bitch, please. She's nasty.
Yeah, she's nasty, but I know how much you love.
I like Hole. I like the music that Courtney Love made in the 90s. She is nasty.
Yeah. Two more. Kat Von D.
I probably have to pass on that. That probably gets a bitch, please. Not because she's not hot, but because the guys that she's been with. And that whole, you're with whoever your partner's been with kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay, last but not least, Tom Brady.
Bitch, please.
Kat Mykals,
no. That would be switch, please. He would switch me to the other team. There's nothing attractive about Tom Brady.
Thank you so much for being here. Again, listen to Kat Mykals, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday. And when are you on GBF? What time Saturday?
Saturdays from 5 to 8.
From 5 to 8. So you can get enough Kat Mykals 6 days a week. Thanks again for being here. I'm so happy you came by.
Thanks, Steve. It was my pleasure.
I'll see you guys next time in the Playroom.